Good morning. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Oracle Hour. Welcome to our rescheduled time at 10 a.m. Pacific this morning. Happy New Year's Eve. I'm so honored to have you joining me live here. I can see that we already have questions in the chat, so I'm excited to jump in and offer readings as we cross this threshold of, between 2025 and 2026 into the new year, into all the new beginnings and all of the hopes and dreams that we have sort of been ruminating and reflecting on over this, last phase of 2025. I've seen this come up in my readings and my client sessions and in my own personal reflections, really just taking this time to honor 2025 and all that it has brought us. There's something very sacred about this day. It's actually my favorite time of year. I love Yule and all of the Yule traditions and the winter solstice, of course. But there's something very powerful about New Year's Eve, and we'll get into that topic here in a moment. I can see that we already have questions in the chat, which I really appreciate. Thank you for being here, everybody, for joining me at this rescheduled time. If you're here wanting readings, please stay on and validate. Okay, so stay on and validate the information that I'm giving to you so that the flow of the conversation works better. It's more entertaining for everybody who's participating, and it's more meaningful. Okay, we can go deeper if you are interacting with me. Okay, we are streaming live on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. We're not on Instagram this morning, but for those of you that are not on YouTube, please come and join us at Sabrina Rising on YouTube and put your question in the chat. I answer questions on a first come, first served basis, as you know, unless, of course, you're a community member, which is available to you. Diane is moderating today. She'll put the link to join. If you join the channel, you get priority access in the chat, which means I give you a reading first. I answer your questions first. We go a little deeper in your reading. I offer a little more insight. You also get free entry into our Oracle Gathering event, which is a monthly event I do. It's a 2-hour channeling event where we meet on Zoom, and I offer mediumship, spirit guidance, intuitive messages, and personalized psychic readings. Okay, so and spiritual guidance for the life, whatever you're struggling with, whatever life questions you have. So that's available as part of your membership. Also, you get access to all of my members only content. These are courses, workshops, webinars I've done over the years, everything from healing inner child work to manifesting to meditation and so on. Okay, so if you are, this link is not to join. This link is for posts. Okay, so that's the link for posts. If you're an Inner Oracle community member already, go to the posts that are just for you, and you'll see all of the perks that are listed there. Okay, you also get access to a Facebook group. So we have a Facebook group that happens during the week. Throughout the week, I go live there on Tuesdays, and there's deeper access to me there. You can coach with me. You can come and ask questions. We do Lyriel does intuitive tarot there on Fridays, which is a beautiful offering, and this is a growing community. So feel free to join. This can be your gift to yourself as you're starting the new year. Join our community. We'd love to have you. Okay. So, and again, if you're looking for mediumship, I say this every week, I'm happy to offer guidance if your loved ones are here when we're interacting. If they're, like I said, if there's a message, I will always share it. However, I don't take mediumship requests. Okay. So if it happens to unfold, if it's in the flow and it's organic for us, great. Otherwise, please reserve your mediumship request for one-on-one readings or the Oracle Gathering. Okay, and there's a link for readings, so you have it, and we'll post that at the end as well. Okay, beautiful. So let's talk about, first of all, let me say hello. Hello, Kay Julu, and hello, Sweet Fairyish. Hi, Patty. Good to see you. Vicky. Hi, Diane. Hello, Magnet. Nice to see you this morning. All right, beautiful. Thank you for joining me live. Okay. So I'm going to get to your questions in a moment. I really, really want to honor today. I want to honor this sacred ending, closure. I mean, of course, time is an illusion, but the psyche, our nervous systems as humans crave timestamps and closure and the structure of time, because we want endings. We want closure. We want to be able to feel a sense of completion around something. And there's something very powerful about this day because millions of people are reflecting on change. Millions of people are reflecting on what they are letting go of and what we're calling in for the new year. So when the collective is putting its focus in the same thing, on the same concepts, it amplifies the energy, right? And so we all feel it. It's in the collective consciousness, whether we are aware of it or not. We are participating in these thoughts. If all of a sudden you have a thought, or all of a sudden you have a feeling, or you have a nudge, or you have a desire for something, it's not simply unique to you. It actually exists in the energy field. It exists at the level of consciousness that you're participating in. And this is what happens on days like today, during the holidays, during a time when everyone is commonly coming together to put their focus on a similar intention. And the closing out of a year of life, of memories, of what you accomplished, what you didn't accomplish, what worked, what didn't work, is very, very powerful. It's powerful to reflect. Of course, I would recommend this process on a regular basis. There's just something very significant about doing it during this period of transition. Okay, so we're still in the year of the snake, by the way, for those of you that follow numerology. It's not the end of the year of the snake yet. That doesn't happen until mid-February. Actually, February 18th or something like that is when we move into the horse energy. For now, we're just closing out year 9 in numerology, and we're moving into the energy of a year 1. Essentially, it's a year 10, but it distills down to a year 1, which means new beginnings and new foundations. It's really a year of work and foundations and taking action for the things that we want to see made manifest in our lives. Of course, this is all cyclical. Time is cyclical, experiences are cyclical, but there's something, like I said, very profound and reassuring about the idea of being able to close something out. It's the end of a chapter, and it's our nervous system, as I mentioned earlier, our psyches are more open and more genuinely curious and willing to reflect on things when we know, on whether we're conscious of it or not, on a soul level, here's an opportunity for a fresh start. And who doesn't love a fresh start? Like think about 2026 and think about every New Year's is like this clean slate. Like, here I am going into this fresh beginning, this new energy, this new frequency. Who am I? Who will I become? What am I letting go of? What am I calling in? Where am I going with my intentions? It really brings in the question of, what is it that I'm creating? How do I want to feel? What do I want to manifest? How do I want to serve? Ultimately, what we're all looking for as humans is the opportunity to be fully self-expressed, so that we can feel deep fulfillment and deep peace with our soul contract, that what we came here to express. And we each have our own unique blueprint, even though as humans we have a universal experience that we're all here to go through, which is the conditioning and learning of fear, and then the deconditioning and unlearning fear. Essentially, is what we're here to do. I know it sounds crazy when you look at it from that perspective. It's like, we come here to forget where we come from, to lose connection with source consciousness, with God, essentially, only to find that this way of operating is very limited and very constraining and feels painful and can create a lot of suffering. And so we do the deeper work to find out, the truth of who we are, our essence, to liberate ourselves, essentially, so that we can awaken to this love, this unconditional love that is available to us when we do the inner work. So essentially, we come in to experience fear, to learn fear, to experience the contrast, and then to wake up from this illusion of fear, the illusion of time, the illusion that everything isn't always exactly as it should be in this moment, and all is well. So again, the end of the year really marks a very powerful, potent time to reflect on these deeper concepts and really ask ourselves, how do I feel about my life? How do I feel about myself? How do I feel about the way that I'm living and the choices I'm making? And really take inventory of how you are choosing your reality, because everything that isn't changing, you're choosing. And so this is a perfect opportunity to take personal responsibility for the quality of our well-being by, monitoring our thoughts, our feelings, our behavior, our actions, and really making decisions that feel aligned. And alignment feels like a full body yes. It feels like the cells are opening up, and it feels positive. It feels inviting. it feels like a warm, welcome from the universe. Yes, right. And so making sure that as you move forward in this new year, and of course, I would recommend this ritual on a daily basis. Of course, rituals today, as I mentioned earlier, because millions of people are in on it, it amplifies the energy. And so, make sure if you're not, I don't know what your practice is, depending on whatever your practice is, that you at least take some time to really think about your intention for closing out 2025 with gratitude, with reverence, honoring the experience that it served for you, how it had helped you grow. For so many of us, because it was a year 9, it was a year of endings, it was a year of completion, a year of letting go, on mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, on all the levels, and a year of transformation, right? So now as we're moving into a year 1, it's like, okay, I'm going to take all whatever's left of me, whatever's left of the parts that I want to bring forward, whatever's left of the life that I feel is really in alignment with the new standard I'm holding for myself. What am I taking with me into this next iteration, into this next chapter, which isn't a linear thing? The mind sees it as linear because we time stamp life. Today is the end of 2025. Tomorrow is the beginning of 2026. We like to and so there's something very powerful about that closure experience, even though it's just a continuation of the same. And all of the rituals on the planet are not really going to make much of a difference if you don't shift your beliefs, if you're not openly curious about what needs to transform within you, if you're not taking the aligned actions that actually serve your highest and best good, if you're not using the guidance, for example, the guidance that you received today in the readings, to apply into your life, to integrate the information that you receive so that you can take the actions that are required of you in order to make certain shifts. And the year 1 is all about action. It's all about putting your money where your mouth is. This is where the rubber meets the road. All of these expressions mean the same thing. It's like, here we go. Let's go. Let's do this. Okay. And so, and again, softening the go-ness as well, because as I mentioned, we're still in the year of the snake. So it's not till the end of February where we really feel that propelling energy forward. But this is a wonderful time to really kind of make peace with yourself, make peace with what you're letting go of. Notice where you're still resisting, where you might still be holding on, where you might still be insisting on things being a certain way, where you're trying to manipulate outcomes or force your will upon something. And just take a step back and detach lovingly and just notice, like, okay, maybe this isn't the way. Maybe this is not what's working for me. Maybe there's something completely different and new that I haven't seen yet, that is there, that is available to me, right? And this is the beauty of psychic work, mediumship work, channeling work, is that we bring the unseen into the seen. We tap into what we don't know, and we allow it to inform our experience. We allow it to awaken our hearts, to open up our minds, and to propel us forward in new directions, perhaps directions we've never even considered. Okay, but when I'm not attached to an outcome, my view becomes a lot less myopic. I start becoming more open and willing to see things differently, and more open and willing to experience life in new ways. And that, of course, can be a little scary, especially for those of you that don't have a spiritual practice. If you're not deeply anchored in a relationship with the God of your understanding, doesn't matter what you call it, doesn't matter how you practice, it doesn't matter how you connect with it, whatever serves your highest and best good, as long as you're feeling connected to something bigger than you. I talk about this enough. I can't emphasize it enough. I talk about this all the time. We need a connection to something bigger than us. Otherwise, it's just you and your ego and your limiting beliefs and your fears of missing out and your fears of not being enough and your fears of failure, right? And so we have to transform these beliefs into a deeper sense of trust and surrender, that I'm always guided every step of the way. And even when things are not working out the way I want them to, they're working out in service to my highest and best good. Circumstances are presenting themselves in such a way that I can learn, I can grow, I can heal, I can evolve. And we're here to evolve. This is the one thing we all have in common. And we all want evolution, whether we're conscious of it or not. Even if we resist change, we still, on a deeper soul level, we want to evolve. We want to expand. We want to grow. This is human nature. Okay. And it's the essence of your soul wants this for you, as it's been here lifetime after lifetime, accomplishing the same thing. So allow today to be a day on the calendar that not only marks the change in the year, but also marks a significant a shift in your perspective around how you're going to let yourself evolve and soften and expand and surrender into a new version of yourself without putting pressure on needing to do anything, just allowing, right? And I think that this is very important for the collective as well. Like, we're moving out of a phase of like doing, pushing, and really just allowing and surrendering and trusting that things are exactly, we have access to whatever we need, and things are always exactly how they're meant to be in order for us to grow. Okay, so everybody has a different capacity, a different pace, a different blueprint in terms of what you're here to accomplish. So just learn to honor your own pace, your own process, and be open to what the universe has in store for you personally. This is, of course, my wish for you, my wish for all beings everywhere, as you honor the end of 2025, bringing in the new, bringing in the refreshed, bringing in the more evolved version of you. Okay, so thank you for hanging in with me. I would love some questions around the new year. If anybody has questions about anything I just shared, any questions about rituals or closing out or how to usher in, or whatever it is that you're curious about in terms of how to make today memorable and meaningful to you. And of course, we are jumping into live readings here. So Diane, I will let you take over and moderate. Hi, Patty. Patty says, hi, Sabrina. There's a lot going on. Okay. I hate to be vague, but several things have my mind preoccupied. I'm curious if any messages stand out in particular. I definitely need to book a reading. Okay. Okay, good. Everybody needs to book a reading. It's always good. I mean, I like to get readings because it's like it's so important to give ourselves permission to receive guidance, to receive what we already know on a soul level that's being confirmed through a channel who's not attached to our personal outcomes, who's not emotionally invested in what happens, or has no judgments about what happens. So thank you for bringing this question in. There is a lot going on, but Patty, it's all an expression of the same worry. Okay, so it can feel like there's a lot happening in different parts of your life. But if you take a step back and really reflect on it, it's the same fear being expressed. That it shows up as worry, like coming up in different parts of your life. Work feels like personal relationship, feels like family, feels like, so it's all the same kind of worry. All right. So my guidance for you right now, is, this is also coming directly from your mom. Okay. So I can feel that she's here in spirit, and she's sort of tapping you on the shoulder saying, relax, like it's going to be okay. There's really nothing. I feel like you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself to decide something, to choose something, or to push yourself a little harder. And it's the exact opposite of what I've just recommended for the collective during this time. This is like rest, renewal, reverence, and relaxation, and just trusting that you're, the awareness of what the beliefs and the behaviors that you're taking in with you in this next year will come in as you allow it. Okay, so I want you to settle down and not worry so much. I can feel a lot of preoccupied energy. This is something to do with your relationship as well. You might have some concerns about things that are showing up. Maybe some red flags are starting to present themselves, which is normal in any partnership, especially at this phase. It feels like you're right in that space of seeing things more clearly. Like once the initial pixie dust, as I like to refer to it as, settles. Yeah, I know this is a relatively new relationship. Feels like there's some deeper truths that are being revealed, but I don't feel like it's anything that's not workable. Okay, so it's really about you now taking responsibility for your well-being and setting boundaries and just checking in with yourself to make sure that you're not giving beyond your capacity. Okay. Also, I feel like there's a concern around work as well. And Patty, I'm going to wrap here. Hopefully you're still here. Please validate if you are. There's some concerns around work. She says, what did she say? Oh, pardon me, Diane. What did she say? It feels like a growing experience. Yeah, it's all growing. I mean, this is very general, but it's always true. This is all growth, right? You are growing in love, and growing in love doesn't mean always excitement and fun and passion and intensity. Growing in love also means like sitting in uncomfortable conversations and doing the work to look at yourself and to notice how you're showing up, how you're co-creating the situation that you're in. You are co-creating the circumstances that are, I feel like I said, there's some red flags coming up in, but it's nothing that you can't work out. And this person is very committed to working things out with you. Okay. So I want to say that to you so that you understand. And obviously, hopefully it gives you a little bit of a boost. Also, there's some concerns around work, and this is what I'll wrap with this and then I'll move on. There's definitely a new level of expectation being placed on you, like it's coming down to the wire, like, hey, we need you to do this, or we need you to show up in this way. And so I want to, she says, yes, definitely. Okay, good. Yeah, I want to, this is again in service to your highest and best good. You are growing in every area. You notice how the fear of losing things or things being taken from you is the pattern that we're noticing in every area, right? This is like showing up all over the place. So it's just that, and this is a deeper wound from childhood, that good things get taken away, or that things don't last, or that you're going to do something. She says work is very stressful. Yeah. So this is what I'm feeling. Okay. So there is a lot of pressure to show up in a certain way. And, stress is the way you're responding to your responsibilities. Okay. So stress is not something that happens or that is an automatic thing. It doesn't have to be stressful. Okay. So when we look at your capacity to handle your responsibilities, and think of it as, I'm willing to expand my capacity to the point that allows me to continuously serve in joy. And anything beyond that is beyond my capacity and therefore not available to me at this time. This is how we set a healthy boundary. This is how you can still show up and do what you said you were going to do and fulfill on your promises, fulfill on your obligations at work, without overextending, without allowing yourself to be manipulated or overburdened. I will say that to be politically correct. Okay. So, so that's how I want you to see it, is I'm willing to expand my capacity to the point where it continues to bring me joy. All right. So stress, when people say I'm stressed, it's because you might as well say, I don't have good coping skills. Okay. So I don't know how to cope with all of the responsibilities that I have in my life. I feel stress in my body because I feel overwhelmed. Stress is a mental concept, and it keeps you trapped in the mind, and it prevents you from doing the deeper healing work. She says, fear is at the root of all my worries. Of course, welcome to humanity. Welcome to the human experience. This is what fear is, at the root of everybody's suffering. Okay. The fear of loss, the fear of failure, the fear of neglect, the fear of abandonment, the fear of poverty, the fear of the annihilation of self. Okay. So this is the ultimate fear of the ego that keeps it in place. So I want you to notice that you're scared, and then do the work to regulate your nervous system and to connect with spirit, so that you can trust that fear is a conditioned response. I have so much information coming in at the same time that sometimes my words can't keep up. But so fear is a conditioned response to a perceived threat. Perceptual fear is what you're experiencing, and it's not real. It's not rooted in any reality. Okay. And the fact of the matter is that if you end up not being at your job, or not being in your relationship, or things do shift with or without your willingness to go along with the change, it's still going to serve your highest and best good. That's why I always tell people, when we do these readings, I hold space. It's like, it's not as significant as we think it is. It feels significant. Your feelings are valid. They're just not the truth. The truth is, you are whole and complete. You are centered. You are grounded. You are provided for. You are connected to spirit, and you're having the experience that your soul signed up for. That's always true. Okay. So now, how to make the most of this experience is take responsibility for your thoughts, take responsibility for your emotions, feel all your fears and meet them with compassion and non-judgment. Learn to give yourself love, learn to set healthy boundaries, and there's something around your job, around the way that you work, specifically to you now. There's something about the way that you work that's not working for you. Okay. So you got to change some habits, and bring in more structure and bring in a different way of doing things, and maybe start to talk a little bit about, or be more transparent about, what you can and cannot accomplish in your workplace. Because there's nothing sadder than being in the wrong job, trying to make it work in the wrong role. This is very unfulfilling for humans. Okay. So I want you to really take a stock of that. All right. And be transparent with your employer. And I'll leave you with that. Okay. And it's a long reading. So we'll move on because we have so many other people here. I hope this was helpful. And come back and let us know how this unfolds for you. Okay. Bye. Beautiful. Okay. Let's go. Let's move on. Hi. I don't know how to pronounce this. Liju. Oh, I'm just going to call you Jubu. All right. So, someone's is expecting, is it a boy? Like, it's my sister-in-law. This is so funny. I love these questions. Okay. So this is a yes or no question. Here's how you answer a yes or no question for those of you that are developing your intuition. And this can be true for you, Julu, as well. Let go of any attachment to any outcome and be open and neutral to whatever the response is. Take some deep diaphragmatic breaths. Breathe in through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Make sure you're filling up the belly as you inhale. I'm going to answer your question, but I would like to empower you with the process of how to answer a yes or no question with integrity so that you feel empowered. Okay. Anybody can do this. I literally do this at the grocery store when I'm deciding what supplements to buy or what, ingredients to get and so on. I stand there and I hold the thing. And if I feel myself leaning forward, it's a yes. And if I feel myself leaning backward, it's a no. I have a video on my Instagram about me doing this. It just works. So yes, it's a boy. So I feel it. What you want to do is ask yourself the question when you're in that neutral void of zero attachment to any outcome. Any answer is welcome. I'm just simply committed to receiving the truth. Thank you, Spirit, for answering my question. And so ask the question. You can ask it out loud or silently to yourself and feel yourself being pulled forward or backwards. You can feel the cells expand or contract. These are all like tangible examples of what happens in the body when we're receiving information. Okay. In fact, I did a live yesterday in our Inner Oracle Facebook community talking about how to read your own energy field: mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. And this is it. This is the tuning into your own energy field. So I feel like it's a yes. You'll come back and let us know how that unfolds for your sister. Congratulations to your family. Blessings to this new addition, and happy holidays. Thank you for being here. Beautiful. Hi, Sweet Fairy. It's nice to see you here. Sweet Fairy says, hi, would love any messages for my guides for 2026, please. The last 2 years have been very challenging due to the autoimmune disease, and my life has been on pause. Thanks. Okay. So going forward in 2026, I'm going to invite you to stop claiming your autoimmune disease. Stop claiming that this is something you have and something you're going through. I really want you to change your language around this. Okay. It's so important because you keep being invested in this as part of your reality, and it doesn't have to be. Okay. I don't want to invalidate the physical symptoms. I know we've talked about this before. I understand that they feel very real and they can be very debilitating, but your body, I'm tuning into your physical body now, is healing itself, specifically the energy around your throat, which is directly relates to your thyroid, directly relates to your hormones. The balance in your body, your endocrine system is more balanced than it has been in a while, and there is more energy available. And now we need to shift the beliefs, because what happens when we have a set of circumstances that we're dealing with, whether they're external or internal, depending on, what's happening in your life. If you have a headache, you feel the pain of a headache, you tell yourself you have a headache, and then you perpetuate the pain of that headache. This is just how energy works. Okay. So I want you to really find those moments of where you feel relief, where you feel a little more energized, you feel a little more up. In those moments, you're going to do some inner work around shifting your belief about your health. Okay. So I am in perfect health and I feel amazing in my body. Or if that feels unreachable, you can start smaller. You can start with something a bit more accessible and say, my body is healing itself. I have more energy than ever before. Okay. Actually, that's a really nice one for you. So introduce this into your practice. Things don't just happen to us. And I say this all the time. Of course, as a psychic and a medium, I get questions about what's going to happen. This is the I want to say the main question I get is what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Am I going to be okay? Am I going to be safe? Am I going to be provided for? Is everything going to work out for me? This is what human beings need to know. We need reassurance. And that's why we want readings. And I'm happy to offer that in connection to your higher self. And I want you to learn how to soothe yourself here, how to reassure your own spirit that you are well, right? You are well inside. You can empower yourself to shift your beliefs. Once you start doing that, Sweet Fairies, you're going to come out of this. The other thing I want to say too is that it served a major purpose for you to have autoimmune disease. It served a very important role in your life. So I want you to honor it. I don't want you to dismiss it or reject it or judge it. I want you to honor this condition and the expansion that has served in your life, the growth, the healing, the fact that it kind of parked you at home and made it impossible, immobilized you and made it impossible for you to move forward in so many different ways. And it forced some deep needed self-reflection. It also allowed you to experience support from your environment, deep support from your community, perhaps from your workplace or lack of work, and just feeling like you can be taken care of. Your inner child really needed that experience of knowing that you can be taken care of and sort of supported through this process of what we're referring to as autoimmune, which is no longer autoimmune. And now it's a matter of honoring the sensitivity of your nervous system, of your energy field, and choosing to make decisions that align with your health. Okay. That's what's coming up for you in 2026 is kind of like, that time's up on this experience of autoimmune and the beliefs that keep you in a very small, safe, secluded, and limited way of operating. Okay. I don't feel like there's any more health issues. Like I said, there's more balance in your endocrine system than there ever has been. Now it's just a matter of you overcoming your fear and saying, can I actually do this? Yes, I can actually do this. I have the energy to do this. I can move forward. I can expand in this way, baby steps, okay? But you're going to notice a lot more energy and momentum start to build as you make these choices to step out into the world. And, there's even a job that's coming. It feels a bit of a hybrid situation. So work from home, go in to work kind of thing, which will be a nice transition, okay? So again, we want to ease our way into a new iteration of self. We don't necessarily have to, we don't have to jump out of airplanes. You can just easily set a slow, gentle pace for progress and evolution. And you can co-create that with spirit so that spirit can meet you there and help usher in this new reality. Okay, that's my message for you. Thank you for being here, Sweet Fairy-ish. If you're here still, please validate. Otherwise, come back and let us know. Beautiful. Who's next? Hi, Vicky. Nice to see you. I don't know if this is our usual Vicky. So Vicky says, hello, Sabrina. Wishing you and your family a happy upcoming 2026. You too, sweetheart. Do you still see work-related changes in 2026 and a shift in my environment as well as a masculine entering my life? Yeah, none of that's changed. You just have to be patient. Things come in the time that they're supposed to come, and you can accelerate the timeline based on the actions that you're taking. That's what we're talking about today is beliefs, personal responsibility, and aligned action. This is not necessarily in that order. Personal responsibility, the willingness to take personal responsibility, then shifting your beliefs, then processing the emotions that come up around change. It can be grief, it can be fear, it can be anxiety, it can be anxiety is not really a feeling. It's more of a systemic response that keeps you safer, buffers you from experiencing the deeper emotions. But meeting those emotions with compassion and non-judgment, and then being willing to shift into a new paradigm. Okay, so if you believe it's possible, it shall be so. Whatever you believe, you're going to be right. Okay, this is so important for everybody, whether you're watching live or the replay. I can't emphasize this enough. All right, so I always see a relocation for you, a simplifying of life, and sort of being closer. I think it's closer to one of your sons. That feels like it's coming up, and there's a lot more interaction with him lately and in the imminent future as well. So that's going to be something that you consider, either being closer to him, moving closer to him, or being more in his life. Okay, there's a kind of more of an involvement, it feels like right now, energetically. And I think this opens up the way to partnership. Of course, you are healing your body as well. Okay, this is similar to sweet fairyish. I know there's no autoimmune, but there's recovery from illness, and that also has had, an effect on your belief system, on your willingness to put yourself out there, to take risks. She says, yes, relocation was discussed at Christmas visit. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So this is what I'm talking about. Okay. And she says, yes, healing body still. Yeah. Okay, good. So thank you for validating. This is what I'm talking about. When you're healing your body, you have to learn to love it as it is. And so that you can feel attractive, you can feel desirable, you can feel open to sharing yourself. Intimacy, of course, is not just being naked with another person physically, but also emotionally and spiritually and in every conceivable way. The deep intimacy is created when becomes available, I should say, when we become very comfortable with ourselves, when we can love ourselves fully. This is the work that needs to be done still. Okay, so there's some work here in terms of loving your body, loving yourself, allowing yourself to feel more desirable. And this will, of course, help magnetize a new relationship into your life. But the relocation's happening first. Okay. This is imminent, and it has to do with your son, feels like. Okay. So yes to all your questions, and just keep in mind what I've said. Make sure you do one thing at a time. You carry out the directives, the messages that you're receiving. You sit with them, come back and watch the replay, and really take to heart some of these messages and see what needs to shift for you. She says, I have a fear of intimacy in every way due to past mistakes. Okay, well, this is what we're talking about, right? This is exactly what we're talking about. Think about, and this is, I don't mean to call you out, Vicky. Of course, I know I do this with love and respect. Think about how impossible it is to try. You're welcome to try and attract a partner. Am I going to have love in my life? Am I going to meet somebody when I have a deep fear of intimacy in every area because of past mistakes, and because of the state of my physical self, or the fact that I'm still healing from something, right? Like, how is this going to work? It's like the conscious mind wants it, but the unconscious mind is saying, no way, stay away from me, right? And the unconscious mind, the subconscious, is responsible for 90% of everything we're manifesting. So think about that. Think about getting your fears out of the way so that you can step into alignment with what you truly desire. Otherwise, it will always be this point of tension, this point of longing in your life of, I really want something that I'm afraid to have. And so many of us suffer in this way. We really desire something that we just won't let ourselves have because we're afraid of mistakes. We're afraid of the responsibility. We're afraid of not being able to maintain it. We're afraid of the loss or the potential hurt that is involved. Okay. Falling in love in general means being willing to have your heart broken, right? Otherwise, it doesn't work. Okay. And she says, true. Good. I'm glad you agree. I hope we all agree. We can all agree that a fully self-expressed life and a safe life, they don't really go together. Okay. So full self-expression and fulfillment means taking risks. It means being uncomfortable. It means doing new things. It means being willing to fail, being willing to get hurt, being willing to fall down, all of the above. Okay. And you have the resilience now, whatever I believe it was cancer that you went through. Okay. Has helped you build that resilience and to believe that your body can heal and recover and come out the other side, a new version of yourself. What you went through is tremendous, right? So you have so much inner resilience now that the idea of making yourself ready to love is easy compared to what you've just been through. Okay, so you have built this built-in resilience that I want you to pull from. Use this as a frame of reference. I am so strong. I am so capable. I am so willing to go deeper in love with myself. And that's going to shift your circumstances. Okay. That's my message for you this morning. Vicky, thank you for being here and Happy New Year. And blessings to you. Who's next? Hi, ACD. How are you today? Hi, Sabrina. No question today. I have an update on my immigration stuff. Oh, good. I got my green card. Woohoo! You were right. Thank you. Yay! Thank you for coming back and telling me that I was right and that you got your green card and that all is well. I mean, the only thing I love more than people getting what they want is me being right about it. Thank you so much. This is so awesome. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. You really deserve it. And I hope this creates a sense of ease. Like, the nervous system, as I talked about in the beginning, like this is why today is so powerful for us, is because we want this closure. We want this sense of completion. We want to just be able to take a sigh of relief and go, okay, that's over. And now I can focus on something new. Right. And so this feels so poignant for you at this stage to just know that this is here. And now I don't have to stress about where I'm going to be or what I'm going to do. I can just relax and know that I will be that I'm safe, and then I can just focus on getting my needs met. So beautiful. Thank you for sharing. What a gift. What a gift for you and for our community to see you arrive at this point. Okay, so thank you for sharing. Beautiful. Magnet to Love. Magnet to Love, hello, says, may I please receive guidance for my path from my guides? Please, thank you. Anything that is important, I know. Okay, Magnet. Okay. I'm feeling a lot of sadness when I tune into your energy. And I think it's really, well, when I go deeper into the sadness, like what's the root of this? There's a deep longing, like a feeling of, I wish I had something that I don't have. Okay. That's what longing is a wish for something that you don't already have. And, from a metaphysical perspective, when we wish for something that we don't already have, we're really telling the universe that I don't have it. Right. And that becomes the reality. Okay. So, I want you to shift this belief. Your guides want you to walk with the knowing and the reassurance that your needs are being met and that you are being provided for. And it may not look like what you want it to look like right now, but love is coming in ways that are supportive. Okay, in ways that your nervous system needs right now, that your inner child needs right now, in order for you to feel safe and provided for. Okay. So there is, I don't want to say a lack of awareness, but I want you to sort of open up your perception and find gratitude in what you have, because that will amplify your experience of magnetizing what you deeply desire. Okay. So when you move out, she says, yes. Okay, good. I'm glad this resonated for you. So coming out of longing takes awareness, it takes a willingness, it takes practice, and it takes gratitude. Gratitude is your shortcut. This is the antidote to bringing in more of what you deeply desire, is being grateful for whatever you have, even if it's only a little bit. And there is love in your life. There is love coming in different forms. It may not be the romantic partnership that you're craving, but it's love through friendship, or love through family, or love through community support. Like, you are surrounded in love. And right now, part of your soul's, evolution, and this is short-lived experience, but what you need to really anchor in is feeling loved and supported and connected to a community, to a tribe, to your own deep sense of belonging. Okay, so that needs to be taken care of, because you're looking for belonging in partnership. Okay, and so so many of us do that. In fact, partnership can really anchor in a sense of belonging, and that's a beautiful thing. But it shouldn't replace your own inner work. It should not be a substitute for feeling like you belong exactly where you are, exactly in your body, in your community, in your space, and whatever it is that you're doing, whatever choices you're making. Okay, so you get to create that. She says, yes, true. Okay, good. I'm glad this resonates for you. So your guides want you to know that you belong, that you are loved, that you are open, that you are receiving love, and that they're coming through for you. There's actually two that I feel specifically, two different energies. They feel very whimsical, very fairyish. I don't know if you have I feel like you have a pack of oracle cards or something like that that you use, and I feel like there's something around. It's very whimsical. There's a particular guide in your life that is always trying to lighten things up and to bring in the playfulness. Okay. And you may resonate with this. I'll let you fill in the blanks in terms of your own spiritual practice, but there is a particular guide it's always kind of reminding you to be playful, to lighten up, and to see the love in everything. Okay. So this is what your guides want you to know. And to bring lightness and play. I have a vision of you either doing something in community, either at a yoga studio or something like this, very specific. And it feels like a spiritually based community. She goes, yes, I use cards a lot. Is M one of the guides? Okay. Like Michael, like Archangel Michael. I feel like that's a possibility. I actually, when I lean into it, it feels more like Metatron. But I'll leave you with that. And so you can really sit with it. There is what, like I said, there's two energies particularly around you. And one of them is really bringing in this playfulness. Okay. So again, I have a vision of you in community, either doing something in a sort of spiritually based, semi-spiritually based, a little bit new age thinking, but also, there's some God there, which is, they're not distinct from each other. It's just a matter of how you contextualize universal intelligence and how you apply it in your life. And she says, I find when I'm in fear, it's him I connect a lot with and get accurate answers. Yeah, then that's beautiful that you have this practice. So this is the one that I'm sensing that when you lean into, there's playfulness and lightness and joy. Okay, so keeping things light is what your guide wants you to know, and to do things in community. Okay, there's something happening in your area. It feels like either I don't know if it's kirtan or something like that, but like there's like a community type of thing that you could participate in, and it feels good. It feels like you're enveloped in love. You're surrounded by love and support. And these type of outings, these type of gatherings and events are also a wonderful way to meet someone, which I know is a deeper desire. Okay, so I will leave you with that. This is the message, is to keep it light and playful, to step out of longing, to transmute that into gratitude for what is here and now, what I feel here and now, what I have here and now. And this will amplify the energy for you. And the more you step out of your comfort zone and move into more community events and so on, the more you're going to connect with like-minded people. And this is like coming. So between now and March, okay, during this time, really use this time to connect with your community. Okay, that's my message for you. Diane, let's move on. We got more and more people here. Okay. She says, I appreciate you, Sabrina. Oh, good. Beautiful. I appreciate you too. Thank you for being here. Okay. Hi, the ultimate joie. How are you? What a beautiful handle. Hi, Sabrina. Happy New Year. I would love a little guidance on career for 2026. Do I focus on writing the book or the coaching for the beginning of the year? Thank you. Okay. I think, like, when I tune into your energy, first of all, there's no wrong choice. I just want to say that as a disclaimer for any reading that I'm offering. There's really no wrong choice. It's just a matter of what you feel more pulled towards. Okay. So, and trusting that if you follow that soul nudge, that you're going to be taken care of and provided for. You're going to have the right circumstances to do what you want to accomplish, to accomplish what it is that you're setting out to do. I feel like the writing is not going to leave you alone. Okay. So you're always being pulled into it. Like there's always there's a part of you, I want to say too, there's almost like if I don't write this, somebody else will, like, or if I don't get this out, there's a kind of a thought around that, and so first of all, there's no such thing as missing out. This is a human mental construct. It's just there's always infinite supply. Infinite supply. If you abide by the law of infinite supply, that we live in an infinite universe, there's always enough time, and there's always enough self-expression, and there's enough abundance for all of us. Okay, so I want to say that just to kind of put your mind at ease. There's no fear of like, oh, if I don't do this now, I'm going to run out of time, or it's going to be too late. Okay, so I want you to trust that the book is really calling your attention right now, and and it's okay to give it the time that it needs. Okay, so um, I would say that that's first and foremost. I think the coaching is something you can do easily. It will be there for you if you want to do more of it. It's kind of like turning on the tap. If you want it, you can turn on the tap and let it flow, and you can turn it off whenever you want to turn it off. It's kind of up to you, but the book is a really important body of work. It's something that I want to say the writing is not leaving you alone. It feels like you've spirit. And there's a man in spirit. I don't know if it's your grandfather. It's an older man, distinguished man in spirit that's around you, that's really helping with this project. Really wants you to do this. Okay, so I actually feel chills when I talk about your grandpa. It feels like it's your grandpa. Really wants you to sit down and do this body of work. In fact, writing, she says, I feel the writing calling so strongly. Yeah, I feel it too, like big time chills as I'm channeling for you. So yeah, and there's something very distinct that you're writing about that's really important. And I feel like this grandfather energy, whoever this person is in spirit for you, is helping to accomplish this. In fact, some type of literary work is in your ancestry. Okay, so I feel like it's something that's being passed down. Like you didn't just all of a sudden happen to want to write a book, but it feels like this is something that either didn't happen or has happened multiple times throughout your ancestry, that you're here to continue this legacy, if you will. Okay. I feel that very strongly for you. I would love to do mediumship with you if you want to come and book a reading so we can go deeper into this. There's the link to book. And we can talk a little bit more about this grandfather energy and the essence of your book and how important this is for you, not just for your business, for your brand, but really on a soul level. Like this is something that is calling you forward. That's very important. Okay, so that's my guidance for you in terms of where you should put your attention. As I mentioned, there's no wrong choice. And I feel like you have a big capacity to carry a lot at once. But the coaching is, like I said, it's like turning on the tap. You can do it a little bit and then walk away from it, but don't get all caught up in it. Okay. It's just there if you want it. Okay. Does that make sense? She says, thank you. Oh, yeah. Thank you. There we go. You're welcome. Okay. You got it. Good job, Diane. Thank you for being here. Okay. I appreciate you too. I love all the love I'm getting in the chat, you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for validating. It makes things so much more fun and happier and more fulfilling for everybody. Okay. Hi, McCree. Happy New Year, Sabrina. Happy New Year to you too. Is there any guides, messages regarding love or work for me this year? Thank you. Love and light. Okay. Your guides always have a message. They're always communicating. Okay. There's never a dull moment in universal intelligence. There's never silence. There's never non-activity. There's always something going on. Okay. So, and I say this because as soon as you close your eyes and create stillness and lean in with whatever is on your heart, whatever is your inquiry, your deepest inquiry, you're going to feel met there. Okay. And this is true for all of us. Not just me who does this obviously professionally, but for everybody that is developing their intuition. Let me tune into you specifically. I will answer with a psychic hit, and then I'll give you my spiritual guidance. So, yeah, this is really starting fresh, in a lot of ways. I feel like you ended something that was painful in 2025, and you're just now kind of coming out of it, and just now kind of feeling like, okay, am I ready to face the day again? Am I ready to face a new situation, new set of circumstances? the love in the work is really about your ability to receive. Okay. And so that's where I want you to put your focus, is really expanding your capacity to receive love without having to earn it. Okay. Without having to perform, without having to prove yourself. This is a message from your guides, is that you're beautiful, you're, caring, you have a lot of emotional depth, and a lot of creativity as well that wants to be expressed. And as you start to be in a more joyful relationship with yourself, things will start to work is going to take off sooner. So that's the first point of focus. And then there is the a love relationship as well. But I feel like you're kind of treading cautiously because of what you've been through. And that's okay. It's just a matter of taking the time and pacing yourself to heal your heart, making sure that you have done enough grieving and that you feel ready to move into something that is going to, that's going to really lighten you up. I feel like the person that's coming into your life, she says, hi, yes. Okay, good. Thank you for validating. I feel like the person that's coming into your life is going to be completely different, a totally new type of person. Someone who's also been through a lot, but has also done some personal development work, who's like done some like inner work, really looked at himself and can meet you there, is willing to go at your pace, is willing to honor how you feel you can move forward. Notice even the tone of my voice changes depending on who I'm reading for, because it's your energy that's sort of calling in this kind of guidance, the real soft, gentle, empathetic, nurturing, a process that you need around falling in love again, right? And learning to take a risk with your heart, learning to expand your capacity to receive, right? To trust that you are worthy of love. Okay. So this is your first body of work to really master, is I am worthy of love. I'm worthy of having my needs met. I'm worthy of being treated with honor and respect. And as you treat yourself with those things, and then, moving forward into this new, she says, true. Okay, good. So I'm glad this resonates for you. So, this is where I want you to put your focus on. Okay. Love is coming, but it's not till summer, not till like, I don't want you to focus on that, making that happen. It will happen. Okay. She says, I'm trying. Okay, good. Beautiful. I love that you're trying. And I love that this is coming in very clear for you. It's important to grieve. Okay. It's really important to forgive yourself, to trust that nothing was your fault, and that whatever you co-created was an opportunity to learn and grow and expand your capacity for love, for self-love, and your standard for love with another. Okay, this is so important. We need these two. We need our own capacity for self-love to be solid and in integrity and unshakable. And we also need our standard for love with another to be at a point where all of our needs are being met. Okay, so this is something that's uncompromising for you. And I feel as you put your life back together again here in 2026, as you're rebuilding, it feels like the work, it feels like, someone just gives you this opportunity and says, yes, like here, let's try this, like you don't fit all the requirements, but we're willing to work with you. We're willing to help you learn. We're willing to help you grow. We're willing to help you develop into this. Okay. So that feels like someone is investing time in you and be willing to take a risk with you because you're willing to take a risk with yourself. Okay. That's the work that needs to be done. And that's what I see unfolding for you. Come back and let us know how that unfolds. Okay. And also feel free to book a reading 1-to-1 so we can go deeper into this concept as well. She's like, everything resonated. I'm excited. Yay. Beautiful. Thank you for validating. There's a link to book reading so we can go deeper into this. Okay. Let's take one more question. I see. Who do I see here? Here. Let's take Brian. Okay. Take Brian. Okay, Diane, thank you. Hi, Brian. Nice to see you. Happy New Year. Brian says, what's the best way to deal with return to work anxiety after a holiday break? This is a great question. All right. So I feel concerned that there's anxiety around returning to work. Okay. So, and I understand that, the deeper question here is, how do I cope with a massive level of responsibility after I've just had time to like not, to just kind of be in my own energy, perhaps be with my family, slow down. Okay. So I want you to see that the experience you're having of going back to work is actually illuminating some things. There's something about the way that you're working, Brian, that's not working for you. Okay. And so there's a need to, first of all, the best way to deal with anxiety is to engage in a mindfulness practice. The diaphragmatic breathing is free. It is the perfect antidote for anxiety. It helps you regulate your nervous system, get back into a practice. Okay. So I say get back into because I know that you had one at one point. So I think that it's time to start doing the breath work. 20 minutes a day of diaphragmatic breathing is what I give all my clients. This is the prescription. Okay. So wake up in the morning and make space for this practice where you're really slowing down and being in your own energy, breathing into your body and just releasing a lot of stuck energy. Okay. So this is the best form of daily self-care that I can recommend to navigate what we're calling anxiety. Anxiety is not a feeling. It's a systemic response to your body protecting itself. I want to say your inner child is protecting itself from feeling all those more uncomfortable emotions, deeper emotions that are not resolved. I actually, when I tune into your energy, Brian, I don't know if you're still here. If you still are, please validate. I feel like, like it's all on me and I got to do everything and everything is, you're overburdened and overstressed. And I want to say there's some frustration and resentment around how much you have to do. Okay. So I want you, apart from doing the mindfulness practice and the 20 minutes of diaphragmatic breathing a day, mindfulness practice is very easy. It's just sitting down and going through the senses and bringing your awareness to the sensation of your breath, deepening the breath, as I mentioned, just to become more present and cultivate that deep sense of inner peace. Okay, so this daily practice, again, will help you manage your resistance to going back to work. And then on a deeper level, I want you to get honest with yourself about how much you're willing to do. Okay, so at this point in your life, it feels like there's an opportunity to delegate, to downsize, simplify, and to maybe even renegotiate some things, some agreements with your workplace and your loved ones as far as what they can expect from you. Okay. That's how I want to answer that question. I know I gave you a lot, so hopefully you'll come back and watch the replay for this portion and really sit with it because it's not normal to feel this way. And you shouldn't feel this way. You should feel excited to go back to work. You should feel energized. I'm in the middle of the holiday season as well. I normally do Oracle Hour at 5 p.m. on Wednesdays, and I couldn't wait to come on here today and talk to you guys because I love what I do, right? So everybody deserves to have this feeling of like, I love what I'm doing. I'm doing exactly what I was put on the planet to do. Okay. So this is so important and you deserve to have this experience. And if it's not like that, then we got to look at some things. Okay. It's very important that we don't feel stressed or overwhelmed or anxious about or dreading our work, which is where we spend, so much time in our day to day. So I will leave you with that. For those of you that didn't get your questions answered today, we're going to wrap. I think it's 11. Yeah. Okay. For those of you that didn't get your questions answered today, please feel free to jump in on a reading. If you don't want to wait till Wednesday, or today's Wednesday, if you don't want to wait till Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific, there's an opportunity to book a reading with me. We can go into a one-on-one conversation about what's happening in your life. We can obviously go much deeper in readings, and I will channel spirit on your behalf. Okay. Otherwise, you're welcome to join me on Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific. We resume our normal time. We are here twice a week, Sundays and Wednesdays at 5 p.m. And for those of you that want to start off the new year, being part of a community, being held and seen and loved and supported as you grow and heal with us, we'd love to have you. The link to join our membership is right there. And if you join today, you get access to the Facebook group. You get access to the upcoming Oracle gathering that's coming in January, second weekend in January. It's always on a Saturday morning. And you can start watching some of the courses in my library, my spiritual library, which has everything you need to empower you on your healing journey. Thank you so much for joining me live. It's my honor to be here with you all. As always, happy, blessed end of 2025, ushering in 2026. May the new year bring you everything that your heart desires. All my love.